Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Engineer Masood Akhtar Kiani, and as usual, today we have the technical session number 108. Our subject material is gypsum as a plaster gypsum material, how to use in the civil engineering. Before going on, I would like to request you to like it, subscribe, press the bell icon in order to reach the next video with easy access. So let us to go to the subject. What is the gypsum plaster in the roof construction civil engineering? So gypsum is a plaster white cementing material made by the uh, particle of complete hydration of a mineral gypsum, commonly as special retardants or the hardens added as per the normal concrete added, applied in a plastic states with water and it's set and the hardened by chemical recommendation of the gypsum with the water in accordance to the relevant technical data sheets and the manufacturer recommendations. Gypsum plaster shall confirm the IS standard 2547 Part 1 by production of gypsum confirming the requirements of the IS 12679 shall also be used for the preparation of the plaster. Is a gypsum is a green material? This is the question. Formed as an evaporate mineral and as a hydration products, the anhydride gypsum is a crucial eco-friendly components used in the construction. Its material waste. It is a recycled material waste, and conventionally it is called green material. According to the properties, gypsum is a green material and which is the eco-friendly uh, materials. Gypsum, what is the composition of gypsum? Gypsum is a calcium sulfate, CaSO4. Refined gypsum is the any hydrolyte forms no water is 29.4 permanent calcium. The percentage of calcium Ca and 23.5% sulfur. Usually gypsum water associated in the uh, molecular structure CaSO4 2H2O and is approximately 23.3% of Ca and 18.5 percentage plaster of the Paris. So what is the difference between the plaster and the gypsum plaster? The original plaster is a also product. It is a paste of the sand, cement, and the admixture as per the normal concrete. It can be formed in the concrete plant and also in the on-site by mixer or by hand. Also, its application can be possible. The primary difference between the gypsum and the plaster of Paris is the calcium sulfate dehydrate is found in the gypsum, whereas calcium sulfate uh, uh, are the contained in the plaster of Paris. The naturally occurring mineral is a gypsum. It is thus the biggest distinction between the plaster and the Paris of the gypsum. Because this is a mineral, gypsum is a mineral, it exists in the universe, and the plaster is a ingredients raw. It is also collected from the earth, but it is synthetically made by the mixing and the adding of different ingredients. So, what is the advantage of the gypsum plaster in the ceiling? Porous and uh, continue porous of the gypsum false ceiling design and the gypsum false ceiling design also be made with the different architectural aspects. Possibility of the cracks the joints, and due to the light movement, it can be happen when the cutting holes and the lights and the other accessories are to be fixed. Gypsum is a plaster used outside also. Image results of the gypsum and roof gypsum plaster can be used for the outside wall since the retain dampness and the physical study of the weathering condition whatsoever it is. Also, gypsum plaster cannot be done in the area where the continuous damp, such as bathrooms and the gypsum, and also cons- cost liner, then the additional cement, mortar, gypsum, cement, and sand, and the same thickness of the plaster. So, to avoid the make the gypsum ceiling in such areas like moisture areas or watering areas or wet areas. The gypsum of plastering is a this is a question, is the gypsum is a waterproof material. Despite being used in the building industry, this material is not a water resistant. If the gypsum is longer than the cement, this is another question. Uh, Gypsum plaster is also a green product as it can be recycled and reused. At times, walls plastered and the cements may develop cracks or the shrinkage after a few months, but a gypsum plaster remain fault free from the longer time. It doesn't mean that it is stronger and durable than the cement. Cement has their own properties, and this material has the different properties. The gypsum plastering has a faster setting time, and then the cement plastering. The gypsum walls are the painted readily in 4 days compound and the 15 days with the cement and the sand plastering. Sand cement plastering needs at least 15 days to reach the inherent properties, whereas the gypsum gained the inherent properties within 48 days of the application. How this gypsum plaster is the thick, what is the thickness required? The minimum thickness for the undercoat and the gypsum plaster are generally 11 thick, and the wall and the 8 thick in the ceiling, and the finished coat plaster is the 2 thick. This is the minimum. And according to the design and the study of the area and according to the structure, it can be more. Also, gypsum ceiling will last the our good quality metal frames, gypsum ceilings, and the Saint Gobain, which is the company for its who make the study for this is durability. Since the gypsum boards are the made with the precision of the factories and the consistency of the design is maintained, which makes a ideal material for best fall ceiling designs. How strong is the gypsum? Gypsum is a layer 5 by 8 inch with will be easily supported by hanging items with the imposed a load of 80 to 100 pounds when the hanging of the proper hanging of the load is the properly installed and the size are toggled bolt and it's that is the well and the good more uh, feasible for the construction application. Gypsum can replace the cement. The study of the it suggests that gypsum has the potential to be used as a replacement of cement, having good compensative strength performance. The gypsum concrete, different types of the binding material are readily compound, and to reduce the cementitious compound drives between them. The gypsum is a plaster used is the as a with the exceptional whiteness, and it can be wondered to home interiors as in a good finishing for decoratives and the ceilings, flowers and ornamental columns and the fire resistance cladding and the structure Uh, it is a unique product which can be used. But again, I will say that all of this are depend upon the architectural aesthetics and the design parameters which are confirmed by the uh, uh, manufacturer and the designer as well also. So gypsum based on the plaster also is the sufficient fire rated properties. Portland cement based on the it is 7 to 8 inches to be achieve a similar results, whereas gypsum have 5 to 8 inches is a sufficient. The fire resistance plaster is confirming the mix of a uh, perlite grains and the gypsum is a binding agent and the additives. BPCS is the used to make the wall ceilings and the metal profiles, as well as the opening in the wall or the floor, the fire resistance. So this is another property of the gypsum. The gypsum is a fire-rated material also. The following are the specification of the gypsum plaster. The setting time is 25 to 30 minutes, which is the initial setting time. Area covered by the plaster consisting 12 thickness, if it is 21 square meter. So per 25 kg bag, compressive strength is 60 to 70 kg per centimeter square. So this is the comparison and the discussion about the gypsum material and parallel to the uh, sand cement plaster material also. So gypsum has a unique quality, and it can be make the architectural view in a good sense as compared to the plaster, and it is more durable and the more strong as compared to the plaster to stay in the soffit of the areas as well as the walls and the other columns and the decorative items. So this is the gypsum. So gypsum is not a completely substitute of the cement. Gypsum has own properties and own requirements of the application, whereas the plaster have their own application and requirements. So nowadays the gypsum is also replaced by on the walls by the wallpapers also. That is also another subject we will discuss it sometime. So thank you very much and have a nice day. In next video we will see each other with another new subject. So have a nice day.